Hello everyone, my name is Mohsin and welcome to the introduction to Linux. So we're going to be starting what we call Linux operating system, and I'm going to be introducing you slowly, holding your hand, moving together. So the purpose of this course is to help you get full overview of what Linux operating system is and how it's used up day-to-day work. And this is basic of Linux course. Nowadays, Linux is in everywhere. It's used in everywhere, such as cloud. If you hear the term cloud, it's very fantastic. It's where you can find a computer which is more powerful than your computer. So it's used also in cybersecurity, especially pen testing or penetration testing or security researching. Linux is there also. And also most companies that are developing telephones or phones, they also use as backend. So it is in everywhere. And this course is meant for beginners switching to Linux. We will be covering the basic topics such as installation of Linux, basic configuration, terminal usage, and understanding the file system, as well as software management. So we will be covering all those areas. Remember that everything in Linux is a file. So we will be understanding all those kind of things. Please remember, this course is meant for people that are very new to Linux operating system. So we're going to be moving forward about who I am. I'm IT professional since 2018. I just work as network admin in a small company, currently practicing cybersecurity and studying. And I was system admin for a while, I think a year. So, and I started using Linux since 2018. So my name is Abias here down. So that's all about me. So let us talk about what we call Linux. What's Linux? If you think of these pictures that are here, it's only Linux. And there are very few. Remember, there are not few, there are many. There are so many. So, and Linux is basically the kernel of those Linux distribution combined with another software. So Linux is a kernel that's combined with another software. It's very simple. The software such as GNU and other pre-installed software. So I told you Linux is a kernel. It's basically the kernel that combines with other softwares such as GNU and other pre-installed softwares. It's very simple. You can capture only what we call its basic. Basically, it's the kernel. You can capture that, combine it with other softwares such as GNU and other pre-installed softwares. So let us move forward. There are those guys who invented their time, energy, and resources to establish Linux. So the first person is Richard Stallman. He's an American free software developer and movement activist. So he developed some softwares, and he's also a programmer in MIT. He founded the project called GNU Project in 1983. He is also founder of Free Software Foundation This guy campaigns for software to be distributed in a manner such that its users receive the freedom to use, study, distribute, and modify the software. Let me tell you one thing. Linux is different than other operating systems such as Windows, Mac OS. So Windows, it's a paid version. You buy a license. You use that OS, which is known as Windows. You can distribute if there is maybe some issues that's running, and you cannot modify the software. The software modification is under the hands of Microsoft. Same applies to Mac OS. So modification of software in Windows and Mac OS very crucial. But Linux you can use, study, distribute to the community, and also modify the software. That's the beauty of what you call Linux. Now, why this guy founded a GNU project? Let me tell you a back stories. In 1980, many companies started developing their own distros such as IBM and HP. Now, those companies, when they start developing their own projects, which will be Linux, it was super fantastic to be added another operating system to the world. But if those companies maybe develop this Linux, it will be under paid version like Mac and Windows. So the guy came in and developed what we call GNU project in 1983. Now, to develop a GNU project, this guy also developed a GNU project. The reason is his goal was to make an OS that is free, available for everyone. Now, his main objective was to develop an operating system which is free and which is available for every person. So that's what his main motive was. So moving forward, what's Linux kernel? Now, when you hear the term Linux kernel, it's unique. So it's free and open source. You can take it and modify it. It's free. Unix-like operating system. The kernel is like Unix operating system. Okay, it directly talks to the hardware of your computer, such as the RAM, CPU, hard disk, or all those kind of hardware inside your computer. It also manages the resources and processes. Now, it manages the resources and processes, which is cool. So Linux is not Unix. Remember that. Linux is not Unix. They are different. Moving forward, there is another person who come to the industry and develop what we call Linux kernel. Now this is Linus Torvalds. He's a software he's an American software. He created a Linux kernel in 1991. Now, the kernel he created, he combined what you call a GNU project that was developed by the other guy whom we call him Richard Stallman. So he combined that GNU project with the Linux kernel, and now his Linux kernel is used mostly, if not all, Linux distribution nowadays. Now this guy, he also created what we call a distribution version control system, which is known as Git. So that's all about his background, and you can find more in online by googling or going to YouTube and looking his background. Let us move forward to Linux distribution. Now, Linux distribution, there are so many, and they are customized for user group. Now, Linux is used for as a groups to be customized. When I mean groups, does not mean a group like me and you. Linux has different groups such as business. If you want to run a business, you may run what you call Red Hat systems. Now, for the business, they can run Red Hat. It's not free, it's paid version. Though it's free, you can run it in your own home. But for companies, they usually do what we call model and support for this operating system to work for them. So if they have an issues, they contact with Red Hat, then they will be given a support. Also, they will be given a latest model. And also it has a multimedia you can use for Linux that, and you can use for your privacy and policy for your secret. Like TailOS, it's not found here, but it's an operating system under Linux. So we have Ubuntu here, and this is the one we will be running our course. We have Guide Linux. This is for security research, and we have Debian that runs nowadays, and it's under Debian. These two you see here, they are under Debian. So it's also among the Linux. So moving forward, and this is our last slide, the cost distribution. What are we going to be using for the cost? We'll be using what we call Ubuntu. This is Ubuntu operating system. Now, Ubuntu is a Debian-based distro, and it is mostly popular distribution and has a large community. So it has 3 editions. One is for desktop, the one we're going to be using up. This one you can run for your home, you can run for your own business, you can do your own stuff for this one. Also a server, this one you can run home also, and you can run for your business. So they also establish what we call core, and core is what we call Internet of Things, IoT devices. IoT devices can run what we call Ubuntu. Ubuntu can power up IoT devices. So what do I mean IoT devices? IoT devices, one of them is a Raspberry Pi. So it's a small computer that you can carry in your pocket. So the next video, we're going to be going up there, downloading the resources and everything, and we're going to be installing as usual. So ahead, go and Google what you call VirtualBox, go and Google what you call Ubuntu, and I will be back for the next video. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me.